It's Monday, March 23rd. Welcome to Scouting the League. We roll on through our scouting trait series on Mondays just in time to get all the way locked into the 2026 NFL Draft. Safeties today before we talk specialists. Yes, they are football players too next week. Go back to the archives to listen to all those from major factors, clear back win to quarterbacks, edge rushers, O-line, D-line. We hit on everything. So make sure you go back, listen to all those. Safeties are a fun one today because there are a lot of ways to use them. Plenty of nuance, plenty of position and scheme fit stuff that teams are going to talk about. And we're going to talk about all of that today. This week, though, on Scouting the League, we talk a lot of special guests. We talk substance over sizzle tomorrow, the title of Justin Brashear's new book, How Choosing the Right Agent Can Help You Win Your Future. Going to be a good one for all those in the agent world. Wednesday, Doug Whaley, the GM of the UFL, joins us to talk the season kickoff, which happens Friday. From the draft to rosters, rule changes, and more. If you're ready for spring football, make sure you tune in. Of course, head over, like, subscribe, and share this podcast wherever you're listening and watching. Hit those buttons. The subscribe one is the big one that helps us out, so make sure you go do that. Give me a follow at RightStepADV on Twitter is where you can find me. Check out my website at rsafootball.com. If you are an aspiring scout, make sure you head over to thescoutingcommunity.com. Get signed up. Let's start watching some ball. Do the things that you need to be doing to make sure you are set up for a future in scouting or football personnel, wherever it is at. Make sure you check out our partners over at BlueMaca.com as well. BlueMaca.com, the spot for the best insoles on the market. Non-slip insoles, plantar fascia support, recovery, or that turf toe insole. Again, use code SCOUTING20 at checkout to let them know we sent you and get a little discount on that order. But with all of that said, let's get to safeties here. Safeties can be the Swiss Army knife, the answer to many problems the answer can throw at you. Again, this is where it gets really team specific. Again, is there a strong safety on your roster, or is it two free safeties? Do you just call them defensive safeties? Just call them safeties? Are they nickel corner / safeties? Again, a lot of different ways you can define those safeties. Again, the one that always gets talked about, maybe the best safety in the NFL, Kyle Hamilton. He's a unicorn. Special players play the position just across the board at a higher level than anybody else. Caleb Downs is kind of in that conversation this year. He lacks the size and length traits that Kyle Hamilton has, but he plays with a special mind, special instincts, perhaps more of an Antoine Winfield Jr. So we're going to throw on some Caleb Downs film here as we talk about it. So what are we looking at for safeties? Well, here we go. Let's go ahead and get into it. With safeties, again, you always have to get into this team and scheme specific side of it. So again, starts with coverage. For many teams, it's going to be about coverage first for safeties. Run support, run fit is going to matter, but again, that's going to be dependent on the team. So again, when you're talking coverage, you're going to be talking about coverage more from a zone perspective, more as we talk about versatility, it's going to matter as again. So what kind of instincts? Is this guy a man cover safety, a zone cover? Does he have ability to play to the red line, to the numbers, to the sideline? What kind of range does he have in coverage? Can he play man versus a tight end? Man versus a running back? Again, those certainly factored in. Again, the size, the length, the quickness, the twitch to be able to match up big, long players, short, quick players, and an out of breaks at running back. Again, what kind of close, what kind of burst does he have to make plays on the ball at the point? What kind of burst fluidity recover? A lot of those traits we talked about with corners are going to factor in to coverage safeties. If this guy's going to be a top end coverage player, you're going to probably throw in a few of those corner ones as well. With the range, you're really talking range from the deep middle of the field, the top down. How much burst, how much ability does he have to cover sideline to sideline? Of course, Earl Thomas, Legion of Boom, he had as good of a range from that middle of the field as about anybody. That was the question on a guy like Antoine Winfield Jr. coming out. Again, he played it and got a jump on his cover with his mind. Again, could play faster to the point with all those things. But again, can you play cover 3, cover 2? Can you play down in the box? Are you a robber player with your range? Again, all those range questions really come up. As we get through the coverage or range, we talk about run support. What kind of run support player is this? Again, Is this a Keanu Neal? Is this a box thumper, a Cam Chancellor that's going to get down into the box? A Nick Emanowari, again, for the Seahawks. Is this a thumper? Is this a guy that's going to fit gaps? Is he going to be a consistent run player in the box against no matter who the running back is? Again, or is this guy a space tackler, an eraser, a sure tackler that is going to get the ball carrier to the ground? It may look ugly. It may be by the shoestrings. It may be diving low. But again, run support is about playing the next play, finding a way to get the ball carrier to ground. Is that kind of run support player that we have? What kind of close, burst, vision, angles to the point? Again, can we stack and shed players in the box? Can we be a leverage player? All those things matter with that run support for safety, because you're going to play all over the field and be asked to tackle in all these different scenarios. Again, ball skills kind of goes back up to that coverage range. Again, can you finish? What kind of hands do you have? What kind of ability to make PBUs, interceptions? What kind of role do you have when it comes to the ball skills? There's been plenty of safeties. Hey, just knock the ball down. Again, the bounce off Keanu Neal's knee against the Eagles in the playoffs, I believe it's 2018. Again, always one that sticks in my mind. To get better ball skills, you have an interception before half. Again, really changes that game. And of course, the last trait here, versatility. Again, safeties are going to be moved around. You're going to want to play safeties in different ways in a lot of different schemes. And so what kind of versatile role does the safety have? Is this a guy that can blitz, that's really heavy-handed? Does this guy become a nickel linebacker, a dime linebacker? Does this guy become a slot corner? Can he be an outside corner, or does he need to come off the field in some of these situations? Versatility for safeties is really going to depend on the scheme that you're playing, what that defensive coordinator is going to ask you to do. Antoine Winfield is going to play from a deep half more often than not, play some deep middle. You're not going to ask him to cover in the slot, man cover a whole lot, because again, his strengths, what he does best, are utilized from the back where he can see, think, and react. Where guys like Ricardo Allen, who was a corner, became a safety, he can play a little more quarter. DeMonte KZ was a corner, became a safety, be a nickel. You can ask guys to do more in that role. So no matter what the scheme, there's a guy for you, whether in the 2026 draft, in free agency. Again, grade variance is going to be wildly different in day 3 for teams across the NFL, because again, what teams are going to ask for of their safeties is going to really cause grades to go from 4th round to 7th round to UDFA. That wild grade variance is going to happen. And it's why maybe the interest level in free agency, maybe 3 teams really interested. A lot of teams, we don't think this guy's more than maybe a vet minimum player down the line. We don't ask him to do a lot. We're not needing him to do a bunch of these different things. So again, we don't value those players differently. But again, who are the guys in this draft you like? Let me know at RightStepADV. There's some good safeties. It's a loaded safety class. There's going to be safeties that are asked to do specific things, your scheme, your team. There's nobody that can do it all. Caleb Downs is a good player. He does have some weaknesses. I think his size is going to show up at some point in the way he plays his game. I think the lack of length, the lack of size he has will show up, will limit some teams where they ultimately value. Is he a top 10 pick? Again, that remains to be seen, but safety is a fun one. Let me know who the guys you are like. Is Caleb Downs worth a first-round pick, a top 15 pick? Let me know that as well. Here on Scouting League, we're going to keep watching film. We're going to talk about the specific traits teams are looking for, not just big, fluffy pictures. We're going to talk scouting here on Scouting the League.